So we're messing with the last spring now, and we've ran into a bit of a problem. These collars are seized on the pins. Now, I already got one off, and as you can see down there on the floor, took a die grinder, we cut it to just the edge of the threads on both sides, then took a chisel and split it, and it comes out. But that bushing should have stayed in the spring, but it's just seized in there. Alright, so we got it out. Can't see anywhere where you really see any damage on the pin here. But we cut through it, so it's just barely hitting the peaks. See, the threads are still there. Okay, so we put a chisel through it with a hammer, we cracked it, and then it came right out. So now we're going to go clean this one up like we're doing the other one, run it through the parts washer, over the wire wheel, and then it should be good to go. Before we go to install these two, put a bunch of grease inside of there so that thing will move through a little better and hopefully won't have problems with it seizing up like the other one did. Got 2 nuts to put on there. I gotta go get 3 new bolts and nuts for the swing shackle back here because they're destroyed. Tighten everything up with the steering on. Hook the air hoses up on the front axle. Wheels are ready to go on. Hoping by the end of the day this thing will be sitting on all 4 of its new springs. Well, that's the first of 4 jack stands out from under it. That's sitting pretty high. I'm curious to see what it's gonna look like when we get the jack out of the other side. But that wheel's back on the ground now. Jack number 2 is out. It is on its front axle. Oh, now we get to go to the rear, which I'm quite a bit more concerned about the rear. Getting it down. The tires were higher off the ground, and it's probably going to take some more work with the jacks to get them down. That one we're going to have to kind of probably lower in stages. But we're halfway there. The front axle is on its own weight again.
Now we can just drive it off these fucking blocks.
Yep, it is ready to come off. It is for sure beer 30. That was a really stressful time getting those rear jacks out. So we're on 6x6s right now, but that's fuck all in a big ship. I'll drive it off those when it's ready. Holy crap. I was not here when they put this thing on the jacks, but that was really stressful and sketchy getting those down. But it's down. It's on its wheels. The Silver Ghost is officially back on all 6 of its own tires. It's holding its weight on the new springs, and we're going to see a little bit of a drop probably in ride height as we go to drive this thing. That won't be till tomorrow. I'll go through the pre-startup checks on it and get it ready. Man, look at that clearance on the front. That is impressive. That is a lot of room. But I'm really excited about that. There are no more jacks under the bus. Going through the engine startup procedure on it right now.
Is it turning over like it's supposed to?
It's turning over. We don't have any stuck valves. All the injectors are moving like they're supposed to. So I'm pretty happy with that. The valves and injectors were set on this since it's ran last. It has not ran on the new setting for them. So I'm not too worried about that. I already checked coolant. I checked oil. This has been covered with a rubber glove, but I went ahead and looked down the intake to make sure that nothing has decided to move in there. That's all looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do next is get an air fitting, hook it up right here, and we're going to feed shop air to it and test out all the air system stuff before we even try to start it. Got shop air applied to it, sitting just under 110 psi. So I'm pretty happy with that. Batteries are still on the chargers right now, but I wanted to have air in the bus and test the air system before we even try to start it. So as soon as batteries get charged up enough here and we get a second person at the shop, so I have someone to sit in the driver's seat, we'll go ahead and try to give it a start. Fuel reset. Ready? Okay, we've cranked it over a little bit here.
Yeah, you're getting oil pressure and everything.
Okay. I'm going to get a starter brake for a minute and we'll try cranking it again. This thing hasn't ran in over a year, so I'm not surprised it's a little cranky to wake up.
Yeah, I can hear that starter whine.
A little smoky on its first startup in a while, but that's smoothing right out. That's not even hunting that bad. Already getting oil up to the top end. That's all I need to see. We'll put the valve cover back on it. Get the air filter on. Just wanted to make sure that we had a good startup at first and we're seeing oil at the top of the motor. We are. I think old Silver Ghost here is ready to get buttoned up. Well, the bus is no longer between the shops. Just went for its first test drive. Having a bit of an issue though where it's only wanting to select 3-4. It's not wanting to hit 1-2 very well. And because of that, then I'm having a hard time finding reverse too. So I had the dead blow out because I had to work the shifter in and out a couple times because it was stuck in the 3-4 position. But we're going to go ahead and get some oil out, oil all that up. And then I'm going to go take lunch real quick, and afterwards we're going to go try driving again after it sits for a little bit. So we had some issues here. There's the end of the air actuator for reverse. You see that pile down there of dark stuff under it? That's what used to be the O-ring for it. So we got a new O-ring in it. Took the housing that it goes in, we honed it out. It had some gouges in it. So we're gonna try to put some grease on it and see if, with honing the housing out and cleaning it up a little bit in that fresh O-ring, if we're gonna have reverse. Because before, it was just bypassing air and all we could get was 3rd and 4th gear. Because the air actuator pulls this rod in, which is how you get to 1-2 and reverse on one of these. Try it. Again. Still have a little bit of an air leak, but that's a lot better. We called around and there is 0 replacements available for this thing, so it's something that we just had to figure out. So honed it out, like I said, put a new O-ring in it. Looks like we have gear actuation now, so we're gonna try to start it. Then I'm gonna try to get it back across the street over there so we can finish up the lighting.